Okay, so let's talk about MIDI effects. Now, what are MIDI effects? MIDI effects are wildly different than audio effects, okay? With an audio effect, what we're doing is we're taking an audio signal which includes amplitude, volume, rhythm of some kind, and frequency content, right? But in MIDI effects, we don't have most of that. All we really have is data, right? We're gonna put MIDI effects into the data stream so we can mess with the data. We can't change the sound, we can't change the frequency content because that comes later, right? Remember that the MIDI signal, the MIDI clip or the MIDI keyboard or whatever is just generating these note on and note off messages, right? And then those go to a synthesizer. Okay, after the synthesizer, we can put audio effects on it. But before the synthesizer, we can only put MIDI effects on it. And so MIDI effects are really limiting. There's not a lot we can do with MIDI effects, but there's a few things that are really important and really handy. So in this section, I want to go into those effects. We will look at adding audio effects to a MIDI instrument soon, by the end of this section. We're going to talk about that. But remember that MIDI effects come before the instrument. In fact, let me just explain that a little bit better. Here is a MIDI clip. Okay, let me put some notes on here. Bloop. Okay, there's some notes. Neat. Here's some notes. If I look at the instrument, okay, I can go to MIDI effects, and if I put a MIDI effect on this instrument, it's going to come before the instrument. If I put it on this track, it's going to come before the instrument. Remember these little dots? These say there's MIDI data here, and these lines say audio data. Okay, there's audio and there's MIDI. So MIDI, still MIDI. This converts it to audio because it is an instrument. So any MIDI effects I put on something has to come before the instrument. Audio effects need to come after the instrument. Okay, because that's when we're already audio and we can start playing around with the audio signal. But before we turn it into audio, we're on MIDI effects. So let's go into some MIDI effects now. I'm not going to go through all of the MIDI effects here in Ableton Live because some are really unique to Ableton and really specific. But I do want to go through a lot of the common ones that you'll find in different audio programs.